as I mentioned, inshallah, I would be just mentioning certain things that we need to do in preparation for Hajj. So, as I told you earlier also, that we are not getting into the religious aspects of it, which means the method of performing Hajj and the fara'id and the wajibat and the things to do over there as far as the ibadah is concerned. That inshallah we will cover it next Jum'ah. Well, the whole session will be about that inshallah next week. But today I just would like to give you a list of things that you may have to things that you need to get in order to prepare yourself to go over there, and inshallah through these things it will become easier for you over there. Make sure keep a copy of all of these things and keep them at your home. Make copies of it and keep them at your home. Copy of your passport, or if you have a green card, then whatever your status is, the copy of that. If you are making the copy of the passport, then the first page, and any other page that may have some important visas or anything like that on it. The first thing is, as you get your documents, your passport, your ticket, and inside your passport will be a check. At the same time, the copy of the visa for Hajj. Make copy of that page also. Copy of the check that you are given to the embassy, because when you get the passport back, that check will be inside your passport. And every year we go through the situation that people, when they receive the passport and they see the check is inside it, they start celebrating that the embassy forgot to get my check out. Okay? And then what they do is, they take the check out and they cash it. Now, when they arrive over there at the airport, this is the question they get asked: where is your check? Oh, I don't know. I lost it. And now they will tell the person to pay it either right up there. This is what they used to do up to now. Last year I have seen the change, and that was, okay, we will give you this form, go back, make sure you go and pay, and the amount will be a little higher than what you would pay over here. So please, don't take that check out. It's not that they forgot. They will take it from you once you arrive at the airport over there. Anyway, keep copies of that. And the reason for that is that in case, God forbid, if the passport is lost, your ticket is lost, something is lost, you will be able to get copies of it and prove that this is what you had. So, and once you keep them home, of course, let someone know in the house that this is where I'm keeping all of my stuff. So that if you need them, they can fax it to you if needed, or at least they will have access to it and they will be able to give you the information from it. So this is number one: your ticket, your passport, all the important documents, may even be your credit card if you are keeping it with you. Keep the copies of all of these things. Normally, number two, we have a habit of having a full wallet in our pocket. And our wallets normally are full, we have so many things in it. Empty it. Just take what you need. Make it as small in size as you can, not because of the weight of it, not because of the size of it, but in case you don't get it back. You don't bring it back with you. So, just keep what you need. And rest of the things, just keep them home. Number three, make sure that you confirm your tickets few days before the flight. Call the airline. The travel agent will tell us you're confirmed and everything is set. Still, we should call the airline to confirm the ticket few days before the flight, because remember, the flights for Hajj are going full. You won't find a single empty seats in it. And every travel agent, of course, is trying to get the booking in the very same days and same flights. So if anyone gets the opportunity of pulling your name out and putting his customer's name, he will do it. Doesn't happen very often. It does sometimes. And the only way of making sure that it doesn't happen to us, then we make that phone call a few days before the flight and confirm that we have the seat. Yes, that's the term is used nowadays. I don't know where it came from. That is not zabiha, but it's halal. So we don't want to eat halal, we want zabiha, and they don't have the zabiha category. So go for the vegetarian food, as I said, just normal vegetarian or Asian vegetarian. Number 4. Keep your pictures, some extra pictures, passport size photos with you. In case, sometime you may need it at any time. And I have seen people needing it at different situations. So, keep some of these passport size ID pictures with you so that if it's needed, and especially if in your passport you have an old picture where there is no beard, because that one, as they may call it, is not zabiha, is halal. They do have the category of halal food. Don't go for that. When you call for confirming, at the same time, book your meal. And the best thing to book as far as meal is concerned is either vegetarian food or, better than that, Asian vegetarian. These are two different categories. One is just general vegetarian, and the other is Asian vegetarian. Picture of your childhood, and now you are grown up. Make sure that you keep one of the recent pictures, staple it at the end of your passport. Because what happens is, say, they are looking for your passport for some reason. And the person looks at you and he keeps on looking at your passport. He would never find it. Because he can never recognize you through your picture. So, you may tell them that no, don't try to recognize me through that picture. My photo is at the end of the passport on the last page. It's stapled over there. Look for that picture, you will know me. It's very important. It's very helpful in many situations over there. Number 5. When you're keeping the money with you, credit cards are not very helpful over there. And the reason for that is, for using the credit card so that there is no fraud, they would ask you for a picture ID. And an ID that is recognized by a government. And you will not have your passport on you. As soon as we arrive over there, they will take the passport away from us. They will give it back to us the day we will come back to the airport. You will not get your passport over there. So now, in order to be able to use your credit card, you may need that or cashier's check. Worst thing. Because for that, for sure, you need your passport. And you don't have it, you can't cash it. So, they are not very helpful. Maybe helpful in a situation where you're stuck and then you get someone to help you, the local person, to be able to help you to cash it or something like this. So in case of emergency, maybe used, but not for a general use. So as far as money is concerned, then the easiest thing is to keep some cash with you. And as far as the cash, the best thing is keep $100 bills. One is, the volume will be small, which means you can have more money with the small volume. You can keep it wherever is safe. Number 2, when you exchange in the currency exchange, you will have more value for a $100 bill than you would get for any bill smaller than that. So if you're getting $370, 3.70 we can say, for exchanging with $100 bill, you may get 3.5 for $50 bill. And the bill is smaller, you will even get less than that. So the best thing is to keep these large bills, $100 bills, and even in that, try to keep the newer ones. There is a difference in value, I'm telling you. There is a difference in value between the newer bills and the older bills too. So the older bills will give you few less reals than the newer bills. Number 6, take a pouch with you. That will help you in 2 different ways. Number 1, to tie your ihram, to hold your ihram. So it will be with the belt, a pouch with a belt, and so it will hold the ihram. And number 2, you can put your valuables in it, because that will be the safest way of keeping your valuables during your journeys and traveling over there, especially during the days of Hajj in Mina, Arafat, Muzdalifah. So that will be the safest thing to use. You can get them from many different places, and the best thing maybe a dollar store. Yes, they do have them, and you get it for $1. Number 7, as you have a carry-on, when you go from here, of course, everyone will have a carry-on. In this carry-on, as you keep your things that you think that you would need, normally we keep a lot of stuff. Don't try to keep too many stuff that you'll have to just keep on carrying for nothing. But make sure you keep at least 1 pair of clothes in it. I have seen people who arrive at the airport, and they have lost their baggage. Now, they don't have no clothing. And to go right there to look for clothing and buying clothing is not that. It's still a hassle. So, the best thing is to keep at least 1 pair in our carry-ons. In our situation, let me just tell you one more thing is, and that is, you may not need this. I just remembered you may not need this because you will be wearing 1 pair as you leave from here, and our ihram will be in our carry-on. Please don't put your ihram in your check-in baggage. Make sure you don't want to make that mistake. You want to keep your ihram in your carry-on, because we will be putting the ihram on in Germany in transit. We will be arriving at Jeddah, and then from there we want to go to Mecca. So therefore, we want to use the ihram before we arrive Jeddah, before you have access to your baggage. So keep the ihram with you in your carry-on. So of course, as we take the ihram on, we'll put the ihram on, so then we will be putting that pair of cloth that we are wearing, we will be having it in our carry-on, and that could be usable in case if we need it over there. As far as the carry-on, don't make it too heavy. We have seen situations where you can make it from here to Germany, for example, or wherever your transit may be for people who are going from different flights. But when you arrive there and you are about to board the second flight, they may tell you that the flight is overbooked and there is a lot of baggage in there, so we can't have anything in the plane anymore. Give us your bag. We will put it into the check-in baggage. And now what happens is, because yours was heavy, they took everything from you, all the things that you needed, maybe medicine, maybe clothes, anything goes, it's all gone. So if you keep it light and small, not too big, then they will not take it away from you. But if they see the size of it being big, most probably they will take it away. And of course, once they take it, then it will be just like a check-in baggage where you would get it only after you arrive over there at the airport. Maybe a little late, before that you would need some of the stuff that's in there. So don't make it too heavy. Sometimes the weight, don't have it too big, because then normally, not sometimes, they always, up to now my experience is they always see the size of it. And if it is big, they'll pull it away from you at the airport. It's not that they're not going to let you take it, but they will check it in. If they check it in from New York, your ihram is gone. So you'll be arriving there without ihram. So you better keep $120 ready to pay Adam. So, that's why I said, keep it something that is very normal for the flights and is not too heavy, is not too big. Will be a good idea to keep it something that has wheels on it, so that you can use it throughout your journey over there in Mina, Arafah, Muzdalifah. You can drive it. For some people who are used to, what do you call it, this bags, the backpacks, maybe that's maybe a very handy thing and very useful thing to have it with you, because you carry it there, your hands are free, and you can keep all of the stuff that you need for during the day, especially during the days of Hajj. You can need things that you need, you may keep it in there. So that backpack comes very useful, inshallah, in that situation, if anyone would like to carry that. As I said, keep your ihram, and the slippers for ihram also that you would wear during ihram, we will have to take them with us from here. Today I talked to Brother Ibn Wahid about ihrams. If he has some, he says he's coming next week for our program here to give us all the information about the trip from his side, his preparations and everything. So he will be here with us next week, inshallah, and he will bring the ihrams. They have the ihram and they're selling it for $20. So he will have ihram here next week if anyone would like to take it from him. And if you have your own, that's good, alhamdulillah. But if you need it and you are worrying where to get it from, inshallah, we will have that available to us next week. Slippers for ihram, I don't think he has it, so you have to look for it around here. And those are the slippers, normal slippers that the main requirement, this is only for men. The requirement is that it has to be a type of slipper that does not cover the bone on your foot here. So the bone that rises up in the middle of the foot, it should not cover that bone. So it should be below that. So a slipper of that type would be good for ihram. Sometimes people ask that, how about if it has stitches on it, and that's fine. If the slipper has stitches on it or anything like this, it's fine. Nothing wrong with that. As we leave from here, you know that the journey is going to be long. From here, we will inshallah go to JFK. We will have a good wait over there, some hours and good hours over there, and then from there to Germany. From there, and then we will be in transit for, I'm sure, many hours, which I don't know how many, but it will be, I think, many hours over there. And then from there to Jeddah, and then over there we will have a long wait before we get to our buses, then from there to Makkah. So it's a journey. And for that, number one, make sure that everyone keeps that in mind, that there will be a lot of sabr and a lot of time needed. That's fine. We left for the purpose of ibadah. As soon as we leave, that's all ibadah. So we are not in a hurry to do anything, to get anywhere. We are already in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the point is, even in the path of Allah, you will need some food. So, make sure you keep some food with you. In your carry-on, keep some food with you. And don't forget your imam. So, this is very important, that yes, keep some food with you, because it's difficult to find halal things on your way, from standing from here all the way until you get to Makkah, not to Jeddah really, until from here all the way to Makkah. It will be difficult to look for food. So just keep that in mind, and keeping that in mind, keep something with you, and keeping in mind that we will be inshallah in the good company of good people. So of course, inshallah, we'll be sharing. So, a little bit should be helpful for everyone, but we will be keep in mind that we will be sharing, inshallah, with each other things that we have. So, keeping that in mind, inshallah, take your food with you.
The customs don't make an issue about carrying food?
Not taking it from here. When you come back, then they will have a problem. But on the way going, there is no problem with it. As you take your food, the other part you need to remember about food is that for over there, keep some chocolate, snake bars, these type of things with you. They are very helpful, very handy. Say for example, in Arafat, from Arafat to Muzdalifah, sometimes people don't get food from all the way from Arafat until they get back to Mina, because in Muzdalifah you don't find no places for food. They have no restaurants, nothing. It's only parking lots. You sleep in it, do ibadah, whatever, and then next day walk to back to Mina. And it takes, some time, it may be a gap of 18 hours or so before you get your meal. So, and then a lot of walk. You will walk some miles, not to scare anyone, inshallah, is easy, but keep something with you. It helps. These type of things that you can use whenever a need comes, inshallah. That becomes very handy. In the buses, a person is sitting in bus for 8 hours, 10 hours, is stuck in the traffic, maybe longer than that. So these type of things becomes very handy and helpful. Of course, not too many, because inshallah you get them over there too. But it's always good to keep something. It may be helpful to you. If not to you, someone around you may be able to, you will be able to help someone with it. Keep 2 small locks with you, 1 or 2, because you may use them over there for your baggage. Number 1, you will use them for your own bag, the main bag that you have checked in as you get over there, because during the journey, you are not allowed, during the flights, you are not allowed to lock your bags. Remember, please don't lock your bags, because they will cut it. So, it's the law that you cannot lock your bags when you're traveling. So once you arrive over there and you're keeping in the hotel, it will be a good idea to have a lock on it so that it's locked and is safe. And the other lock will be for your carry-on, so that as you're keeping your carry-on with you, always it's safe to keep it locked at all time. Make sure that you remember to keep your Quran with you, a small Quran, so that during the journey you will use your time in reciting Quran al-Kareem. Keep a small book of dua, like Al-Hizb al-Azam, and similar type of books that we can at least keep on making the dua, and especially during the days of Hajj, those are the days of dua. So you want to really make good use of the time by reciting the du'as, by making the dua, so that these books of dua becomes very handy, very helpful at that time. And with this long journey that we have, people are tired, and then sometimes you don't feel like reading a book. So still we don't want to waste our time. The best thing is to keep a subha in your hand, tasbih, that will keep on reminding you to do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so that we keep on using the time, because this is mudhakkira, this is a reminder. If you have it in your hand, then even if you're sleeping, you will remember that you're about to fall asleep, and you will remember, let me just recite something. Subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. At least we'll keep on moving. And if there is nothing to remind us, then normally the time gets wasted and people are just making no use of it. Make sure that you keep a sweater or something like this, because especially in Mina, Muzdalifah, it will be cold. And in Medina also. In Medina it will be cold. In Mecca you may not need it, but you will need it in Medina, you will need it in Mina and Muzdalifah. So keep a sweater with you. Sisters can wear it all the time whenever they want. Brothers will be able to use it only when they don't have the ihram on. When they have the ihram on, then we will have to just make it without it. So, and during ihram, and I'm not talking to young people now, if you feel that you can't take it, it's difficult, then maybe a good idea, especially for maybe sisters, of course, as I said, sisters, they can even wear the sweater or a jacket if they can keep one with them. But elderly people, they can keep some good shawl with them, so that, or blanket type of thing, so that they can use it even during ihram, just like ihram, to cover up the upper part of the body. So that can be used. But remember, carrying it is also something that you will have to keep in mind. So, but it will be a good idea for elderly people to keep something like this. Keep some type of shoes or sneakers, something that you normally that you're used to walking with, that you can make, you can walk some distance with it. Because you will be having, number one, sometime when people travel, they like to wear some fancy shoes. Because they're traveling, well, I will be in the aeroplane, so I can't have this normal ones. So, and then you will have one for ihram that we are not normally used to walking with it for too long distances. Of course, in Hajj, we will be after the ihram is out, we will still have a lot of walking to do in Mina and from Mina to Mecca after the ihram is out. So it will be good to keep some of those type of sneakers with you, because in those days then you can just wear those and do all of your walking with it. For sisters, they can wear it throughout the journey. Even during ihram, they have no restrictions like that. Special advice to the sisters: don't take jewelry with you, because we are not going to be attending no weddings, nothing like that. So please don't take no jewelry with you, because a lot of time people lose it, and if they don't lose it, the least is throughout the journey there is a worry of saving it. How I'm going to save it, where I'm going to keep it, oh, I left it in the hotel. People now, I've seen situations, people are in Makkah, in Mina, and they will be in Mina for 3 days now, but throughout the 3 days, the only thing you hear, my jewelry was there, I left it there, I don't know what's happening with it. So we don't want to worry about these things. So please don't get into those things and just leave all of these things, these type of things behind. As far as money, one more thing that you have to keep in mind: take as much as you need, not too less, but not too much. And when you take it over there, I know especially for us, when we go from America, we carry some very valuable dollars with us. These dollars are too valuable to us, and this is what happens, that because of their value, when we are over there, and sometime sisters have it in their purse, so every few minutes she touches the purse to make sure that money is there. Then after 15 minutes, open the purse to look into make sure it is in there. Okay? Brothers, they're keeping in their pouch, and okay, I have the pouch. Yes, it is there. And remember, there are people who come from some countries without naming any country. But people, they come in a group, just like we go from in groups of 50 or 100 or 200 people. Similar type of groups come over there to do the same work that you're afraid of. And that is to get what you have. And they will be watching you very closely, and they know these marks. They are very experienced in this field, professionals in their field. So they will look at people that where you normally are keeping your eyes. Okay? On the purse, every few minutes you're watching your purse, simply means there is something in there. You're watching, you're touching your pouch every few minutes, simply means there is something in there that he has to get. And then this person will make sure that he gets something from there. And in that process, last year, you know what happened? Amazing. One of the sisters, she hid it in a way that it was almost impossible for anyone to know where she has hidden it. In her, she tied it with her leg. Okay? It was a type of pouch that she tied it with her leg. But they are very valuable too. So she had to touch it every some time to make sure it's there. And someone noticed it. When she went to the sujood, someone cut it and took it, and it was so crowded that she couldn't even get to the person. It's gone. Thousands of dollars. And because of the pouch, sometime when people try to get to the pouch, it happened a couple of times that a person would try to cut someone's pouch, but made a mistake and hit it on the side of the pouch, God forbid. And we have seen people bleeding bad. So, these type of worries, keep them aside. Don't worry too much about what you carry. Just keep what you need, inshallah, and then have your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, don't look too much at those places where you're keeping it. It may be even the result of not paying sadaqat. When you don't pay the sadaqat, then by force it goes away. These are normally the things that I remember. People that have joined us in the previous years, they may have things in their mind that I have not covered. But as far as general preparations, these are the things. If anyone remembers anything else, you can just mention it, inshallah, from the people who were with us in the previous years. Do the Hajj will have to do the Qurbani of Hajj over there. For the type of Hajj that we will be performing, yes, we will be doing the Udhiyah, and that is Tamattu'. So for that is not the Qurbani that we normally do. That Qurbani is forgiven. But we will have to do the Qurbani of the Hajj over there. That costs around $120. So when you calculate your money, keep that in mind. How much should you totally keep? I would say approximately, wallahu alam, say about $100 to $150 for food. Another, sorry? Dr. Razak is taking care of shopping. This is what you said? And for the Udhiyah is about $120. This is around $300. And then whatever shopping people do, that's up to them. But say if you keep around $500 with you, you are doing that.
What if in the haram that people come and tell you stories and ask for money?
If people come and tell you stories and they ask you for money, of course, the word story itself is explaining what you know about it. I hate to say don't give no donations, no sadaqat, but at the same time, it's a profession that people are using, and we don't want to just be doing that and giving it up for people who are using that as a profession of begging, of just collecting, and they come in groups, and there are a lot of people that are handicapped, and they look for those people to bring them over there, because those people, of course, will be a good tool for getting money out of people. So, just be careful. There are people that we can find over there that would not come and beg us, but they really deserve the sadaqah. There are people who are sitting over there just because that is the haram of Allah. So, we can look for those people and give our money at the right place, inshallah. And especially the sadaqat wajibah, which means if a person made a mistake and he has to give a sadaqah, or if you want to give some sadaqat on behalf of something special that's for Hajj, then we have to be careful not to just give it anywhere. We should give it to the deserving people. No, normally over there, the people who come and beg, they use the word fi sabilillah, which means give something in the way of Allah. And the ones who don't want to give, they also have a term that they use, Allah Kareem. That Allah is very generous, He'll give it to you. This is not to say that don't give at all. There are people who keep they take a lot of change, 1 real bills. So anyone comes to them, they take out 1 real and give it out. And wallahu alam, whatever you want to choose for yourself, that I don't want to make no decisions about.
Question about the ihram. When we're in Mecca, you just go some distance and you put the ihram on and come back. But in the plane, why do we put on ihram so early in the plane? Because Jeddah is pretty far from.
The question is, in the plane we put the ihram before we arrive Jeddah, and Jeddah is very far from Mecca, which means comparing to where normally when you are in Mecca, you would go and put the ihram on from masjid called Masjid Aisha, the place is called Tan'im, and in normal driving distance is only about 10 minutes from the haram. So why do we have to put the ihram on from the plane? And the reason is because the rule is different between the people of Mecca and the outsiders. When we are going from here, we are outsiders, and we will be following those rules. When we get into Mecca, then we will follow the rules. Then the rules of the people of Mecca will apply on us, and this is why then we can go up to there. That's the simplest way of putting it. Oh yes, very good. One of the very important things that I forgot to mention, and that is sleeping bags. Get some sleeping bags for you. It will be very helpful to have a sleeping bag over there. And I really although the travel agents may not recommend that you take a sleeping bag, but I very strongly recommend that you have your sleeping bag with you. And let the travel agent be a little upset. And the reason for that is, there are many reasons. One of the very important reasons is that we are not used to ihram, as men especially. And in ihram you will be sleeping there, and people then they throw their blanket away, and the ihram opens up. So it's not a safe way. So this is why sleeping bag is good, because you zip it up, that's it, you are inside your ihram. You are inside your sleeping bag. That's very useful. Number 2, as it gets cold, sleeping bags are very helpful. Number 3, take a sleeping bag that is not too big. It's a good sleeping bag, but small size. The helpful part of it is that you can keep it in your carry-on. So as you keep it in your carry-on, you will have it with you even in Muzdalifah. If it is cold, you can get into your sleeping bag and have some rest. Or wherever you are, your sleeping bag will be with you. So it becomes very handy to have it. And a small pillow. As you keep your sleeping bag, keep a small pillow if you can. And that becomes very helpful too. That pillow is not as important as having a sleeping bag is important really to have. And take a type of sleeping bag that you don't have to worry too much about on the way back. You don't have to carry the bag. You can just give it there, over there, sadaqah or whatever, you give it over there, inshallah. Not from here, over there, yes. In your carry-on, it will be good if you like, especially the people who carry backpacks and they have the water bottle option in it. If that thing is there, keep the bottle with you. It becomes very handy. Right. Exactly. That will be very good to keep the inflatable pillows, so you can blow them up whenever you need them. Then you can squeeze them, they go down, and you fold them up and put it in your bag. That could be very helpful too. Is it jais to fast during Hajj? It all depends on what days you would fast. As far as normal fasting during the days of Hajj is not recommended, but especially on the 9th, for people who are in Hajj, they should not fast. Then 10th, 11th, and 12th, no one is allowed to fast. Those days are haram to fast for anyone. Anything else that you remember that you need to know?
Can ladies inside with slippers and only together in the country?
Can ladies, or let's say anyone, do sa'i with the slippers? If you keep one pair of slippers that you can wear only, that you would wear only inside the haram because they are clean now, you haven't worn them anymore, it's a new pair that you would just wear.
What are the rules when a person does that on behalf of someone else? The umrah that he does, for example, he arrives in Makkah. Who's near this meal?
The question is about Hajj Badr. There are a lot of details a person has to know to do Hajj Badr. Is not very simple, but it's not impossible, but there are a lot of rules the person has to observe. And it's always recommended that if anyone is doing Hajj Badal, it has to be a person who has done his own Hajj first. Because by doing his own Hajj, this person knows how to do the Hajj to begin with. So he doesn't have to keep two different things in mind. As soon as this person will forget to make the intention at the right place where he's supposed to make the intention, then that act is not done on behalf of the person that he was doing the Hajj for. It's done on his own behalf, and this is not Hajj Badal anymore. So, there are certain rules the person has to follow. Generally, the general ones is that you have to make the intention on behalf of that person, and whatever you do, for tawaf, you will make the intention that you're doing it on behalf of that person. For sa'i, you will make the intention that you're doing it on behalf of that person. And for each and every action that you're performing, when you're performing it, you will make that intention. That's the main thing. Hajj Badal means you're doing a Hajj on behalf of someone else, which simply means it could be two different ways. Number one, someone never performed the Hajj in his life. And now his relative decided that since my father, my mother, my uncle, someone, he didn't perform the Hajj, so let me send someone to do the Hajj on his behalf. So, you will pay someone to go and perform the Hajj on behalf of that person. So this person will be performing the full Hajj, but on behalf of that other person that you are sending the person for. The other thing is, even a living person could do something like this, that you send someone to perform the Hajj on your behalf. This will not take your farad away from you, but at least will get you the reward of the Hajj.
So, for one or two, one for the person doing one for yourself?
No. There will be only one qurbani, and it will be only on behalf of the person that you're doing the Hajj for.
So, let's say you want to do it for whatever, uncle, and you did yours. So it has to be somebody else, or I can do it for my uncle, on behalf of my uncle, if I have in mind already done.
If you have done your Hajj already,
Yeah.
and you want to go and do on behalf of someone else, yes, you can do that.
With a close relative.
Any relative, not necessarily close, any person. It could even be someone that he doesn't even know you. He comes to you and says, brother, I can't go for the Hajj or on behalf of my relatives, so I would like to send you on behalf of my father. A person you don't even know. He sends you on behalf of Hajj or father. All you have to do is just make the intention that you're doing this Hajj on behalf of his father.
So Niyyah is for each step, or
Niyyah
is good for whole thing?
No, Niyyah is for everything that you would do then. Initially, at the time of putting the ihram, that will be the Niyyah. That is the most important one. But then, at the beginning of the tawaf, you will renew the intention. At the beginning of sa'i, you will renew the intention.
Then we first open the Hajj by doing a Umrah.
See, Umrah and Hajj, these are two different things. Inshallah, in next week I will explain in more details. Umrah is an ibadah by itself. Hajj is a separate ibadah. It is possible for a person to perform Hajj without doing Umrah at all. That's a possibility. So, if a person does perform a Umrah, that Umrah is totally separate from Hajj. Say, if someone sends you for Hajj Badal, and he didn't ask you to perform the Umrah on his behalf, then that Umrah could be on behalf of someone else too. As long as you take that person's permission, that because you are paying for it, I will be performing this Umrah on behalf of this person, and then I will do the Hajj on your behalf. So, these are two different things. If a person is doing Hajj Badal, would he get the full reward? For sure. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have mentioned it about many of the ibadahs, and especially about Hajj, that the one who's doing it, he's getting his full reward, and the one on whose behalf you're doing it, he's getting full reward. In fact, there is a hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that some time one person does a Hajj, and 3 people get the full reward of Hajj. One person is doing it, and 3 people are getting the full reward of the Hajj. The one who is doing it, the one on whose behalf you're doing it, he's getting the full reward. Number 3, the one who paid for it. You paid someone to do the Hajj on behalf of your father. So you paying, you're getting the reward. He's doing it on behalf of your father, so your father is getting the reward, and he's doing the Hajj, so he's getting the reward. 3 people are getting the full reward of Hajj just by one Hajj. This is the rahmah of Allah.
They can do their own Umrah as well, or do they have to keep on doing it for that individual?
If the person is doing Hajj Badal, do they have to do their own Umrah? Yes, they can. But remember,
They could do Umrah for the
that's his choice. He can do whatever he wants with his extra time, because he has been assigned to do the Hajj on behalf of that person. And accordingly, that's his responsibility to make the Hajj on behalf of the person. Yes, if that person said, do, for example, Hajj Tamattu on my behalf. This is the type of Hajj that we will be doing, called Hajj Tamattu, which means that you do the Umrah first, then you take the Ihram out, then you will do the Hajj. Then this Umrah has to be done on behalf of that person. It cannot be on behalf of anyone else. Yes, with this Umrah, if you decide to do some extra Umrahs, some more Umrah, those Umrah you can do on behalf of yourself. But keep in mind, and this is something for all of us to remember, during the days of Hajj, is not recommended from Sharia point of view, is not recommended to do more Umrahs. So it's only one Umrah, and then do Tawaf as much as you can. Doing more Umrah is not recommended in the days of Sharia, in the days of Hajj. So the best thing is to keep on doing more Tawaf. And then those Tawaf you can do on behalf of anyone. And do as many Tawaf as you want on behalf of anyone you like. You can do it on behalf of the Prophet ﷺ and on behalf of anyone. Yes, you can. In fact, for people who have performed their Fard Hajj sometime and they don't have anyone else that they would be doing Hajj Badal on behalf of necessarily, then, like their parents, someone who haven't performed the Hajj, then, of course, it's good. Instead of doing it for ourselves, do it on behalf of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyone can do it, even men, women, anyone can do it. You're right. Exactly. Exactly. In fact, same thing for Tawaf. People keep on doing the Tawaf. It's always good to make intention of some more people, because you're getting your reward anyway, and you get someone else the benefit also.
Niyat of one person, Umrah can make multiple people's niyat.
Can you make intention of more than one person in one Umrah, in one Hajj, or in one Tawaf? Now here we have to remember there are 2 things. One is Hajj Badal, where you are doing it on behalf of someone. In that one you cannot add more than one intention. But the other one is where you want to send reward to people. The way of doing that is, when you perform, this is just like you want to recite 1 juz of Quran and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send the reward to the deceased people. Now, that you will not make the intention that I'm reciting it on their behalf. You recite the Quran and then make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Ya Allah give this reward to that. This is called Isal al-Thawab, which means getting the reward to those people. For this, you can send reward to as many people as you want, but the intention will not be that you're doing it on behalf of all of those people. You did it for yourself, and then you have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send the reward to those people. So it's 2 different things. When you're doing it on behalf of someone, then you specify the person, and it's only on behalf of that person. So, for example, do one tawaf, for example, on behalf of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam specifically. Then you may do one tawaf on behalf of all the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is included. But doing it specifically on behalf of someone that shows more love towards that person, and especially when it's Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam or our parents or someone like this, will get you more reward, of course, because of your connection with the people.
In the age of advanced age, person old, and he used that person as better.
If a person is not able to perform Hajj because of the old age, can that person send someone on his or her behalf to perform the Hajj? Yes, they can. A woman came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and she said, Ya Rasulullah, my father is too old now. He cannot sit on the back of a camel, especially in those journeys. In those days with those journeys, he cannot sit on the back of the camel. So what should I do, Ya Rasulullah? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to her that you can do Hajj on your behalf of your father. So a person who's elderly, sick, is not able to perform the Hajj, he can send someone on his behalf, and that person will do the Hajj on that person's behalf. If a person, since we're talking about these rules, if a person have died and had never performed the Hajj in his or her life, and Hajj was fard on this person, which means the ability was there, but the person did not go, in that case, if this person have made a will that please send someone to perform the Hajj on my behalf from my asset, so we can use up to 1/3 of his asset for doing the Hajj. Of course, this is after paying his debts and everything else. If he did not, or if it goes more than 1/3, it cannot be paid from his assets. Now, his relatives, if they want, they can volunteer. If they don't want to volunteer, Hajj cannot be performed on that person's behalf. If he did not make the will, or he made the will, but 1/3 was not enough to do the Hajj from his asset, in either of these choices, if one of the relatives or anyone chooses to perform the Hajj on this person's behalf, they can do it, but not from that person's wealth. It's from their own personal money. They can do the Hajj. Hopefully, insha'Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will relieve him from his responsibility of not performing the Hajj. A lot of people, they wait for Hajj to perform it when they get old. I don't know how this trend started amongst us, but this is becoming very general habit now, that people wait until they get too old before they perform the Hajj, and now in that age, it becomes so difficult to perform Hajj. And they can't even do the ibadah properly. They are all totally dependent on someone else to help them with everything. So it becomes very difficult. The reason I'm mentioning is, we should try to perform the Hajj as soon as we can in our life. Because with the old age, with the health situation getting difficult, it becomes very difficult to make good use of the time and to perform the Hajj properly. If someone wants to perform the Hajj and doesn't have the money, can someone else pay for his Hajj? Yes, for sure. If parents are sending their children, they are paying for their children. Someone else said to you, okay, here, I'll pay for your Hajj. So, if anyone pays for your Hajj, mashallah, that's good. The person can do it, although this person's first Hajj. And he's not going to be doing it on behalf of that person, but someone is helping him to do it, and he's doing it, so it's allowed. As far as borrowing the money, it's not recommended to borrow the money and go for Hajj. It's not recommended, but if a person would do it, yes, his fard will be done.
And not the money that comes with the riba.
I know. Not the money that comes from riba, which means not haram money that you use for doing Hajj, because that haram will only spoil things, it's not going to bring any benefit. We cannot give sadaqat from it, we cannot use it for any of the things. Of course, it's only haram and cannot be used for anything. Sure. Okay. If you have more questions, inshallah, next week you can ask. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك. اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ونبينا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم أجرنا من النار. اللهم أجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم قنا عذابك يوم تجمع عبادك. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى من القول والعمل، وجنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا. اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا واصلح ذات بيننا، واهدنا سبل السلام، وجنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في ديننا ودنيانا وآخرتنا. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تبارك وتعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. آمين يا رب العالمين.